Well, we're gonna wait just a sec for everyone to catch up.
Oh my gosh, look at that camera thing he's got there.
So,
I've never seen anything like that.
if you don't mind me asking, is that like one of those big fancy ones where it's just like it's a smaller version of the ones that like the movement ones that they use in like high school games and whatnot to video the games?
Yeah, this actually, if I'm doing a lot of walking, I can loosen this and it'll stay stable while I'm...
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Where's the ice cream, Dad?
Got rubber baby.
It's still not as bad as some of the stuff that I've seen. I've seen like dress down for Eskimo, like going to the Antarctica or something like that. And, yeah, people they'll bring backpacks and just act like they're going on like a 5-mile hike and they get,
really
like,
overdoing it.
Back to like right here and they're like, that's it? And I'm like, yeah, it really wasn't all that big. You kind of overpacked and yeah, they kind of start looking around like nobody has anything except for a jacket and that's it. And,
Well, and then they probably post a Facebook picture with all their gear on. Yeah, we went caving. We were spelunking.
yeah. Which is that large black hump out there, and it is a shield type and not a cone type, so it does not burst out the top like in most movies with the big magnificent show. It's more or less of a slow blowing ooze out the top and down the sides. The last known eruption was around 1200 years ago, and the surrounding area is thought to be around 12,000 to 20,000 years old. We're actually going to be seeing two types of lava rock today, and that is Pohohoi and Aha. Pohohoi is a lot like what we're standing on at the moment. It's very smooth and rope-like, and then Aha is a lot like this very jagged rock right here. And we actually call it hamburger rock because that's pretty much what you turn into if you fall onto it. So everyone, try to keep your footing, please. All right.
Hold on, Bob. You turn into a hamburger?
And a better example of the Aha rocks are these two right here.
I know rocks are magical like that.
As far as I know, we have lighting, and that's about it. We have the lighting, and I'm not sure. I thought it was something like I think it was when they first, like when the first light system, it was lanterns for when they take tours down there, like when it was first discovered, and then after that, when Russell Robinson, the person that took over, and that's their family, not but yeah,
It's cavemen, girl.
he really put in a wire,
Where's the cave,
like a thin wire, just ran it to little areas, and tied up like 3 light bulbs, I think, and just wasn't a very big setup. It was just, I think it was like 3 or 4 light bulbs and that was it. And then you carried lantern with you and shined it on stuff that you wanted to look at. But right here, these two statues are supposed to be cavemen, or Indians, not cavemen, sorry. It's starting to look a little funny and even I get confused, obviously. But they were modeled after the Cordilleran tribe, which was a nomadic tribe that moved in groups from about 9 to 11, all the way from Texas up to northern Idaho. And the remains have been found in about 300 different dig sites from here to Texas. This was their actual size, and they were on the earth about 16,000 years ago. And they only lived to about 20 because of the artifact sitting in front of the woman. Not that one in particular is what killed them all at such a young age, but when they grind up their food and medicine in those bowls, they'd actually break off small rock and pretty much sand in their food, and throughout their entire lives they'd eat that small amount of rock and sand, and it'd back them up so bad to the point where they died of constipation. In my opinion, kind of a crappy way to go out, but apparently that was life back then. See, I haven't heard too much about them, but I have heard of out-of-state ones by, I know the ones in northern California, northern Nevada, northern Utah, southern Nevada, some southern
What?
throughout.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you cold or are you warm?
Actually, as far as we know, we could be standing on another tube at the
You nice
moment.
and warm?
There's that many.
Oh,
But am I going to start talking?
You need
Alright.
some gloves.
So the cave, I'm just going to start from the beginning. So the cave was found around 1884 by a young man about 12 years old by the name of Alfred Kinsey. Him and his family were goat herders, and they had actually lost a few goats. And I've heard two different stories, that they were found within a few hundred yards of the cave, and another story that they were found drinking from a pond coming from the cave. The original opening used to be about where it is now. It was only 2 feet wide and 14 inches high at the time, and had ice coming out of it that was melting, creating a pond that the goats were supposedly drinking from. After Alfred Kinsey got his goats and took them back to his settlement towards Shoshone, he then got the word out very slowly but surely, and people actually started coming out here and breaking off small chunks of ice for their ice boxes. Around 1930 is when the U.S. government got involved, but when they did so, they blew out this entire concrete wall that you see behind me, and actually disrupted a very particular airflow that was needed for the ice to stay cool and still form. Within around 3 years or so, 16 feet had melted off the top of the ice, and around this time somebody was able to crawl into the very back of the cave and tried blowing a hole into what he thought was the continuation of the tube, trying to make the attraction bigger, but instead it blew a hole into the collapsed section next to the tube and messed up the airflow completely. When he did so, it caused the ice to melt somewhat rapidly, and by 1942 the majority of the ice was gone and the government lost interest and left it as just a cave. But luckily, around 1954, a man by the name of Russell Robinson became very interested in the cave and leased land from the government on a, he leased land from the government on a 50-year lease, and I do believe they're on a second 50-year lease that started in 2004. And the woman that you saw working as a cashier, she is actually part of the family, and her and her husband are going to be taking over the property sometime next year. Hopefully it goes well, and I might be working here, so if you come back, you might get to see me. So, yeah. But when they leased land from the government in 1954, they also started a 14-year experiment trying to find the perfect airflow that was once created naturally. And around 1962 is when they somewhat began to perfect it. They were able to get the ice stay cool and still form throughout the majority of the year, so they began bringing people down here and showing it off as a tourist attraction. And at first it was family and friends, and then it drew local attention, and then from then on it started coming from out of town. And I was told that the land was originally leased for lava rock mining. I'm not sure what you're mining out of lava rock, but yeah. But Russell Robinson got bored and made this. So yeah, and ever since 1962, approximately 300,000 tons of ice has come back, but it is nowhere near where it used to be. Alright.
Come on.
And on my last tour, there was actually a frog found right at the beginning of the door. From the snow and rain, the water that gets down here seeps through about 60 to 75 feet of lava rock. By the time it gets down here, it's actually almost completely purified, other than the small amount of calcium that it brings down with it, which gives the ice such a murky white color. And you'll be able to see what I mean by murky white when we get down to the ice.
Look.
Grab this one. Come on.
Alright, and as you get down here, off to your left about where I am, you see a thermometer that states it's about 28 degrees. It stays from 26 to 30 degrees year-round no matter what, and the only thing that influences the heat down here is the amount of body heat that we put off from the door that we just came through. As far as I know, that is the only entrance and exit to the cave. Alright.
Is your wood slippery at all?
Depending on how much grip your shoes have, if you have fairly decent shoes, where the grip isn't worn out, then you should be good. But if you have no tread like I do, you could possibly slip. Yeah. A few times I've went to take a step and instead of took or did the splits.
That's what I was going to say. You could sure use a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, and I actually bought these just so that I could work here, and it looks like they held up until the final day. So, yeah, tomorrow's the last day I'm going to be working here for the season, so I'm impressed, to be honest. They're $20 Walmart fee. So, yeah, and then the remains that you see off to your right were from a subspecies grizzly bear. She was thought to on the earth about 16,000 years ago, and we believe that she's using this cave as her den when she either fell over an ice wall and or the ice rose quite quickly during hibernation, and she was unable to get back out the next spring. When found, she was completely intact with fur, hide, and intestines, but due to being isolated underneath the ice for so long, she began to decompose quite quickly. And we believe that she's using this cave as her den, as there's multiple remains of antelope, I think 2 buffalo, and even a camel found in here. We actually had northern camels. They're a lot hairier and a lot shorter than they are today, and due to selective breeding and getting moved down south, they've changed a lot. And the unbearable part of the story is, when she was found, she had 2 cubs with her, but we do not have their remains on display, as they were stolen from us a few years ago. Alright. And I'll point out the area that the bears were found in the back. And the depth, or this portion of the ice is around 180 feet long and it ranges from 25 to 30 feet wide. On this side of the bridge, it's about 5 to 6 feet deep. Then on the other side, it drops to about 15 to 16 feet. It is completely solid from top to bottom, so the only standing water that you see is on top.
How deep is it?
On the side of the bridge that's closer to the entrance, it's about 5 to 6 feet deep. And then on this side, it drops to about 15 to 16 feet. And it is strong enough that you could probably drive a car down onto the ice if you wanted to, but I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, so yeah. Just an example.
People used to ice skate on there.
Actually, around 1930 to 1941, we had 2 young ladies come ice skating down on the ice. It made national news, and I do believe they were award-winning Olympic ice skaters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You can see some old foot trails over there, close.
And those are actually the, I would call them pillars from the original walkway, but they ended up tearing that walkway out around 2000 because the ice was rising and falling frequently, breaking it up and making it very hazardous. So they kind of got lazy and was really sick of fixing it. So they tore it out and went with this one. And ever since, they haven't had any problems other than on one occasion, they did have the water rise up and over this walkway about knee high on the majority of it. But luckily, before it froze, they were able to pump it out. Yeah, and that's actually what I've been helping the maintenance guy with. He was thinking of a really light, cheap way to put another thing on, and I told him just stretch a rope around it, or 2 of them, and that'll probably be your best bet. But yeah. And then the stalagmites that you see off to your right and behind you guys at the moment, these were not formed or found in this particular cave, but were found in the shoulder of a cistern cave a few miles away. They were placed down here because we do believe there were some down here at one point, but because of the ice, they ended up getting broken up. The big one weighs about 10 pounds, and the little one weighs about 6 pounds. And that's because they are made up of interlocking bubbles, so they are pretty much hollow. Alright? Then all the rock off to his left fell during the 1983 Chalice earthquake. As far as I know, there's nobody down here, but don't quote me on that. Yeah. There was actually... Yeah, and it's actually kind of funny. I feel like something bad may have happened because in the original script that they gave me, they said that it all fell during the cooling time when it didn't have enough room to extend and contract. That too much weight ended up falling on the floor. So a few weeks ago, I was told that that's actually not what happened, and so I think they may be covering up, but I don't really know. I think it's just how they didn't stick that on the script. Then as you get up, you climb the rock wall. On the far wall, you see a very large inlet, and that's actually another tube that needs to come into this one. But due to later eruption, it ended up getting filled in. And I believe if it had not been filled in, the water down here would have never gotten full enough to freeze. So therefore, you wouldn't be walking through such a cool cave. Real knee slapper. And the depth of this ice is around 11 to 12 feet. We do have a few inches of standing water, as we've gotten about 2 to 3 inches in the last 3 to 4 weeks or so. And as we get down onto the lower portions, feel free to touch the ice, just please do not get on it. And remember the small amount of water, please. It has been known to scare some people. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen that. Oh, yeah. This area, just because of this light and the type of wood it is, it's able to allow the water to come out a little bit better. And that area is actually where they, like, I swear, it's like dunking a child. They come up, just soaking, and splash their hands everywhere. And yeah, that's why it's so wet over there.
Yeah, it's not fish.
And again, feel free to touch it, just please do not get on it. And this is as far back as we can go. The original owner, Russell Robinson, owned it further down to another cave called the Cave of Prisms, which is located about 200 yards directly in front of us, but off to the right a little bit. And they used to give tours to that cave, but because of the walkway getting very broken up in winter, they got kind of lazy and just went with this tour instead of going on with that one.
Can you still get into that one?
Actually, I've been told yes, it's kind of a big opening, kind of like this area right here. And the way that I got its name is about 1 to 3 weeks out of the year, if you go down there at the right time, you see the light hit the water down in the ice just right, or not in the ice, in the cave just right, and it'll reflect a bunch of prisms up onto the roof. I've heard it looks really cool, but I haven't seen it myself. Then the bear that we passed on the way in was found on the lower portion of these rocks. I'm not sure exactly which rock she was found on, but again, it was found completely intact with fur, hide, and intestines.
Oh, wow.
And if you guys are ready...
What did they get attacked by?
What's that?
What did they get attacked by?
Ice.
Yep, the ice locked it in here so she couldn't get out and eat. So she ended up dying. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Lights going off.
Maybe she ate her cubs.
There was, well, I don't think so because the cubs were intact too. They didn't have any markings. Yeah, shiny. Yeah, they were found with her intact. I was told, but yeah, because there's something else happened. But the blue cross that you see in the middle is fluorite. The green escape in the middle of the blue cross. Sorry. Trying to think too fast and it's not working. The blue cross that you see in the middle is called fluorite. The green escape in the middle of the blue cross is the 4 circles. It's called calcite. The white circle underneath the blue cross is selenite. Then the funny looking circle that you see on the white circle is franktonite. All the rocks that I just named off are all natural glowing, and the way they work is if they were exposed to the UV rays of the sun, they lock them in and then deflect them back out during the night, a lot like the moon does. And then the rocks that you see lying in the entire case are called geos, and they don't naturally glow. They were dipped in a special substance to help them glow and put down to the show, but either our blacklight is bad and or the substance wore off, as they're not glowing like they should be. Any questions?
So are those the rocks that are in the one that has the prisms, like 3 weeks out of the year?
Which rocks do you mean? Like
The ones that are glowing, yeah.
Oh, no, they were found throughout Idaho around a dormant, deceased, or active volcano. We actually have a dormant volcano, and I have a bit where I say a dormant volcano is where, or in the words of an 8-year-old that wants to tell me what a dormant volcano is, it's in a coma, yeah. And that was actually a really interesting day because that tour was very fun. But, yeah, that kid couldn't be quiet, but he had a lot of really, really good questions. But yeah, any questions? No? All right.
You got your light on that's shining on there?
Huh?
Can you turn the light off for a sec?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the black light, that's how they normally glow.
I know.
But yeah, everyone ready now?
UV rays.
1, 2, 3. All right, if everyone's ready to head back out, we'll
Let's go. I want to touch the ice though.
She's not listening at all.
I see that.
This is like perfect right here.
And this arch that we're walking underneath is actually called a Gotham Arch. It's It's one of the strongest forms known to mankind, and the way that the humans found it was the Romans looked at an egg. The egg has the perfect symmetrical shape to allow it, if you were to push on each end, or turn it from top to bottom, in between your hands, put your hands flat, push as hard as you can. I can almost guarantee you'll be unable to break that egg. But if you turn it side to side, with your fingers, it's pretty easy to crack. And so this cave is pretty much in the egg shape from top to bottom.
It's like the tabernacle in Salt Lake. That's what it was designed back then.
Yep. And somehow, they're not exactly sure why this is the strongest form, but it's just able to hold the most amount of weight.
It dissipates the weight to the side.
Huh. I didn't know that, thanks.
The weight is distributed down.
Down into like this area more.
Yeah, down to the side.
That's really cool. Nobody's ever explained that to me.
Have you been to the Mammoth Cave?
Actually, yeah, I have. So,
We were just there.
yeah, that one's a iffy cave because when you drive in, it feels like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre type feeling. You feel like something bad's gonna happen, but it's really cool. They have a cool museum, a lot of taxidermy because the father was a big game hunter and whatnot. Went all over the world or all over the country and whatnot, stuffed these animals. And I think one of the animals is a two-headed sheep, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You'd have to go check that out.
We had cows, we had sheep,
Yeah.
2 bodied sheep with 1 head.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on in there. But yeah, they could probably tell you more about it. And unfortunately, I usually have something to talk about through here, which was the original walkway, but because we already went over pretty much everything, I don't have anything else to talk about, so it's probably going to be awkward. So, yeah. Gotta get that awkward time in, right? I can't remember what it is, but it's some kind of device where it shoots a large amount of light into the wall. If you put it up against the limestone, it'll actually like hold the light for a few seconds. And as you you have to close your eyes, they do it, and then you open your eyes really fast. You actually see the light inside of the wall as it begins to dissipate back to the hole that they shot it into. And the very large circle, honestly have no idea what it is. My best guess, aliens. No. I have different theories as to this light went out, and at one point they had to replace it, so they used a light that was putting off too much heat, and this is what it did. Another story is in this area during early spring, early summer, there's a lot of water that drips right here. And when they, wow, she's very unhappy. Yeah, when water got down here, it kind of thawed out the area, and then another one, they had to thaw out a part of the ice. In my opinion, from what I've heard and what I was told, I do believe it was the water that was dripping out here and the old light that had to be put down here to replace that one for a little bit. But yeah. And we usually pump out about 1.5 foot of water every spring or so to keep the ice down. The rest of it rise up and fill the cave where it was originally found at. And we pump the water out through the large pipes that you see running out from underneath the walkway and along the far wall. And we're just kind of lazy, so we leave them down here so we don't have to drag them back and forth from the main building to here. And we pump it out to a very large hole out behind the main buildings. I'm not sure where the hole is or where it leads to, so please, no questions along those lines. Thanks.